We'd have shields. Where on a scale of 1 to 10 of knowing who you're going to give it to are you? Who's going to give it to Wells?
The only two people I've worked with, I have any repertoire with, is Tony and Jeremy. That feels like the
season started, I wasn't happy because I barely knew the cast. I thought the cast was the bottom of the barrel, really. No offense to anyone, but I didn't think they were sort of standout people. One that I knew and people that were going to be very good at playing this game. So I'm so happy for Wes and, Boston Rob coming in because they have upped the game. They are the pros of the game. And you can see that everybody else is amateur hour. And the fear on the traitors' faces when they realize that Boston Rob is one of them, because they know that Rob is going to outsmart them, outplay them, and there's no way they're going to get away with stupid gameplays like they have been. The fact that they were very vocal, no, all that is gone out the window. Rob is about to run this game, and I hope that the survivors are able to save Wes, because I want Wes to get to the end. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, share, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing the Traitors US Season 3, Episode 2. I'm so sorry about the delay with the review. It's just because I've been busy with work and Love Island, so I will try and catch up ASAP. So last week we found out that Rob was going to go into the castle because everybody had refused to vote for him to come in. But he was going to go in, and he was going to go in as a traitor. That is to be expected because this season, Rob is the Phaedra that they had last season. He's got the killer instinct and he doesn't care. He's there to win, and that's it. And then we're shown the other two people that are going in with him, and I was cheering. Because if you're a challenge fan, then you know who Wes is. Wes is a killer. Wes has got that killer instinct, and I love the fact that they've brought in Wes because half the people in the castle, I don't even know who they are. So I'm so happy that Wes is coming in because we get, someone at least that's popular with the fans. And there's also Derek, who I understand is from Big Brother. I'm not someone who watches Big Brother, so I don't know who he is. And so they're told that they're all going in, but the other two are going in as faithfuls, so they have no idea that Boston Rob is coming in as a traitor. They're then sort of set up in these sort of cages, and then they are eventually revealed, and they're also excited to see one another. And you can actually hear, Wes reveals that we are the Mount Rushmore of competitive sport in our individual shows, because Boston Rob, he has done Survivor so many times and he's won it. Yes, he didn't win the Amazing Race, but he was number 2. So he has got that killer instinct. Wes is known on the challenge as a killer. He retired from the challenge according to Wes. And then we have Derek. I don't know who he is. Maybe somebody knows who he is and they can tell me who he is. And then we go back to the traitors. The traitors are sort of arguing on who to kill. I agree wholeheartedly that if they kill Deandra, then everyone will know that she was not a traitor, because at the end of the day they were all suspecting she's a traitor. And so if she had been killed, it wouldn't make sense, because that would have revealed to everybody else that she's actually not a traitor, because had she been killed they would be questioning, would you kill yourself? But also, I don't know. I agree with Caroline that they needed to kill Robin or someone else. That way people can continue to believe that she's the traitor, and so they can sort of run on that premise and hide behind that. In the morning, everybody comes to the breakfast room. First in the room was Gabby, Jeremy, and Tony. The other girl, I don't know who she is. I can't even remember. It's been a week. I've completely forgotten who she is. And then you have another group of people walk in. And the problem with these people is they're so unrecognizable, or maybe just because I don't watch their shows. And Caroline is in the second group, and she's nervous because Tony starts asking, who do you think is the traitor? Who do you think is the traitor? And it's like, it's a bit too early. Just sit there and watch, because the problem is they have a lot of housewives in the team that are vulnerable. And killing a housewife, for me, as much as I agree with Caroline, I think killing a housewife is a bit sort of random, and it's a bit obvious because if it's a housewife that they kill, then everyone else is going to know that the housewives are not in charge. They're not the traitors, because why would they kill one of their own unless they want to sort of remove the suspicion of themselves? Sadly, well, everybody else comes in except for, the housewives are the final ones left. We have Dolores, Robin, and Dorinda, and everyone, even Ayana, it drops on her that, okay, it's a housewife that's going home. Everybody else is here. And they chose to go against what Carolyn said. I don't get it. I don't get what sort of game they're playing, because if they were paying attention, if you had people like Bob and Danielle paying attention, they would have listened and heard that everyone was suspecting Deandra. So the idea that they would kill her doesn't make sense, because it takes off the sense. I don't think Robin has that much of an impact as compared to Deandra, because Deandra was very vocal and they could have hidden behind her unless they felt that she was going to sniff them out. This was amateur hour. This shows that they are not thinking rationally. They're making the same mistakes that were made last season. Phaedra made a mistake by allowing the power to sit with other people, and they didn't know who to kill, and they made amateur kills. And this is the same thing. I hope Boston Rob coming in is going to rein the traitors. That way they actually move with their brain and not just with their emotions. And it's really sad that she was killed, and it's like, this is amateur hour. And then to have Danielle and the three traitors were sitting on their own at the top of the table, and it's like, did the producers tell them to sit that way, or did it just happen that way? It didn't make sense. To have Danielle start parroting, oh well, it could be a housewife that's killed another housewife. This is amateur hour. This is why Phaedra was the best to ever do it, because I don't think when it comes to the round table and having to sort of fight for their lives, I don't think that the housewives that are left will be able to do anything to save themselves, which is really sad, because we're at this point whereby people are going to start picking at the housewives, thinking that they are the traitors when there's no traitor amongst the housewives this season. And the people from Big Brother that have been given the power don't have the to sort of suss out how to come up with a strategic plan that will get you to the finale. So once everybody sat down and the realization is struck that Dorinda is the one that's been eliminated, you have Alan walk in and he confirms that Dorinda is the one who's been eliminated. Well, she was killed by the traitors in the night before. And people are sort of questioning whether it was the right decision to sort of kill her off. And some are sort of using it as justification that, it's a housewife who's killed her because they want to take the scent off themselves. And it's like, people are not that dumb. People are really not that dumb. So the idea that you think everyone else is that dumb to sort of kill a number for them doesn't make sense. Last season, you had Phaedra. Yes, Phaedra killed a housewife, or she was part of the group that killed the housewife for a reason, because people were starting to suspect who the traitors were. And so at such an early stage, it wouldn't have made sense to kill a housewife. Robin sadly was talking too much, and they started sort of suspecting her that because she's talking too much and because of her prior sort of beef with Dorinda, this is why she killed her. And for me, it's like, Robin should have kept quiet. I wish people would understand that just because you have beef on your show, when you come onto another show like this, you need to unite. You need to sort of become a joint force. That way you sort of are numbers for each other. And this is where the difference comes in, when you have people that are used to sort of competitive reality TV as compared to just drama and toxicity, because housewives carry their beef to the next show, whereas people like, the survivors or the challengers, or even the Big Brother people, they sort of put their beef aside and sort of work together to be numbers for one another so that they can keep each other on the show as much as possible. This is why CT was able to get to the end with that lady last season. Alan then reveals that, they're going to go and participate in a game. Well, they then sort of leave the breakfast room and sort of have conversations with Robin still very loudly talking about the fact that Dorinda, it's a good idea that she was killed because it makes sense, because people want to throw off the scent from themselves. And it's like, no, why would people kill her? And I sort of agree with the idea that if she is the one that people were targeting, why would you kill her? Because everyone was calling her name out. People should have left her to be sort of killed off or sort of banished at the round table as a traitor, only to save numbers or to save themselves from being the first person banished. But everybody else didn't see it that way. Anyway, they then go to play a game, and I don't know. I really don't know. So they go for their first challenge, and people like Bob, I'm side-eyeing him because the way he was crying when he found out that Dorinda was killed doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, everybody turns up and they get to sort of a site where you have these sort of cages hanging, 3 cages, and they're told that they will need to sort of, well, the cast is revealed first, and everybody doesn't seem to recognize who Wes is. And I'm like, this is what Wes needs. This is what Wes needs. He needs to hide behind the shadows of people like Boston Rob, because people are afraid of Boston Rob. And those that know Derek from Big Brother, he needs to hide in the shadows. And people don't know that as cutthroat as Boston Rob is, that's the same for Wes. Wes is just as cutthroat. He talks a big game and he backs his game. So the idea that people didn't know who he is doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, they are then shown these 3 new people, and they're told you won't be informed who's the traitor and who's the faithful. But what you need to do is you need to run around and pick up coins, and then sort of the coins will help lower these people down. And whoever you've lowered down, they will have a shield, which there's a possibility that they might give you the shield to save you. And you could tell the fear in people. Everyone is afraid of Boston Rob. Everyone is afraid of Boston Rob because they all were running to pick up coins, and they'll say, Rob, my name is so-and-so, Rob, and it's like, please. Boston Rob doesn't care who you are. He will sell you off in order to save himself. So the idea that you people think you can get a coin from him you can get his shield by shouting your names. You don't know who Boston Rob is. You need to go back and study Boston Rob, because the survivors know he is cutthroat and is ruthless. And so the idea that, they didn't get this didn't make sense to me. For Bob, to say, if I give you my coin, I want you to get rid of your hat and stuff. And it's like, Rob doesn't care. This is who he is. This is the way he's dressed. And he's actually said it, that I've dressed like this. I think he said from the 80s or the 90s. So I'm never going to change, backwards hat and a blazer. And it's like, you people don't know who you're messing with. Boston Rob is about to run this. He and Wes can run this to the very end. So just be careful who you align yourself with. It was really sad because no one wanted to save Wes. They were either saving Boston Rob or Derek. And it's like, you don't know who you're missing. You don't know who you're messing with. If I were you, I would align with Wes, because Wes will be able to sniff out the traitors and get you people to the end. But if you want to, ignore him, it is what it is. So they started off by lowering Boston Rob, and then they saved Derek. And then lastly, they saved Wes, which meant that they, were able to win 50,000. And they were told that, in winning 50,000, what's going to happen is you will get an opportunity to spend with these 3 people that have shields, and they are immune from the round table. They're immune from being killed, but you'll have an opportunity to sort of negotiate with them to see if they will give you their shield. And it's like, oh my God, for those that were ignoring Wes, I would have gone for Wes. Because Wes didn't have that many people, so I would have given him all my coins. That way I stand a better chance of him saving me. But people didn't know who Wes is, and it's sad that they don't know who he is, and I can't wait to see him play. So everybody gets in the cars and they go back to the castle, and people are nervous because nobody knows who the traitor is, and nobody is sort of appearing as an obvious answer. Everybody had DeAndre, and because now she's gone home, nobody knows who is the traitor and who is the faithful. And you have Boston Rob. Boston Rob reveals that apparently he used to play poker with his granddad from the age of 9. So which means he's very good at reading people, and this is why he's got an A plus game. And so they get back to the castle, and you have Rob, Derek, and Wes sort of just standing back there and just listening to these people just throwing out names and sort of updating them on what is going on, because they keep asking, so who do you suspect? Who do you suspect? Who do you suspect? And you can see that these people are amateur hour. The professionals have entered the building, because I would not be so forthcoming with information. It was like people were geeking out and sort of just parroting names. People like Wells. It's like, Wells, keep quiet, stay behind, because people are already suspecting you. You don't need to be at the forefront calling out names. But then he's fanboying because he says he's a fan of Wes. And so I think this is where his excitement was coming from, and this is why he felt the need to sort of call out names. And it's like, I don't know. And then he was with Dylan Afron, and they were sort of talking and trying to sort of throw out names. They are throwing out Robin, and it's like, what about Robin makes you think she is not, she is a traitor and not a faithful? Because everyone is swearing on the Bible. I definitely believe Bob the drag queen is not a traitor. I believe that Danielle, and it's like, you've already called two of them. What makes you feel like, or what makes you believe that they're not traitors? And you can see that people are panicking. People are pacing up and down, and it's like, oh my God, even Ivor's name is thrown out, and it's like, don't just throw out names just for the sake of throwing out names. Throw out names because you've got a suspicion. Something's happened. Something's been said. Something's been done that makes you believe that this person is a traitor. Don't just call out a name just because, you didn't like the way they smiled. And I think Rob sort of picked up on the fact that Danielle is a traitor because you heard that funny noise when she said something, and then he sort of looked at her. And Danielle is trying to get Derek on her side, and it's like, girl, you have bigger problems to worry about because Boston Rob is in the building. Wes has entered the building, and you're now in trouble. They are about to run this game. I wish they had made Wes and Rob the traitors, because they would have run that game, and it would have been amazing to watch. So everyone gathers around the round table. And what I loved was you had people like Boston Rob and Wes just looking around and listening and taking notes, because Wes said, I have to catch up with everybody else, so I have to do it at a fast pace. So his gameplay is he's going to sit there, he's going to be a sponge, he's going to absorb every comment that's been made by everybody and sort of look for people's reactions. Same with Boston Rob. And then they're going to pick who's the traitor. And sadly, Bob, the drag queen is so pompous, and so his gameplay is he has no game, because the idea that he was the first person to speak, you saw Caroline was nervous, and for him to throw Wells under the bus doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. And to tag team with Robin, I don't get it. And you also had Danielle sort of throw out, the housewives, one of them, killed their own, that way. And it's like, you people did not learn anything from Phaedra last season. Phaedra, if a fellow traitor had not betrayed her, Phaedra would have gone to the finale and she would have won that thing. But she was betrayed by a fellow traitor. And yet here you have the traitors being the loudest in the room. It doesn't make sense for them to throw Ivor that, he fought with DeAndre, so he is guilty. He's the one who killed her. It wouldn't make sense for him to kill someone he fought with. It wouldn't. And so for people to continue to throw names just for the sake of throwing names didn't make sense. I like Caroline. Caroline is smart. I think out of the current traitors, she's the smartest out of the three of them, sadly, because she is playing on her erraticness. And so people don't understand whether she's being erratic or whether she's deceiving them, that she is a traitor. And sadly, if Bob and Danielle don't betray her, she could make it to the finale with her erraticness. As long as she's able to tame that beast, she'll be fine. And Boston Rob, I can see him getting her to the finale, because that's the same thing he did with Philip. Philip was so erratic that he got him to the finale, and then he dumped him at the finale and he won it. And so I don't get how these traitors are the loudest in the room and no one is picking up on it. Robin is going to kick herself, because she actually said to Danielle, you are the one who's throwing the housewives under the bus, and you could be a traitor who's trying to hide behind us. And I don't know why nobody else picked up on that. I wish they had got rid of her. As much as I support my people, I think Danielle should have zipped it for a bit. The round table was a mess. It was really a mess, because the votes didn't make sense to me. The fact that you had Ivor and Robin and Wells tie for a moment, I don't get it. And for them to sort of vote Ivor out, still, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Is it because he didn't have an alliance or what? I didn't understand the rationale behind the choices that were made by everybody in the group, because at the end of the day, it was just people throwing each other under the bus. If you mention my name, I'm going to mention your name. And at the voting, the same thing happened. If you mentioned my name, I'm going to mention your name. And it's like, make it make sense. If we're going to vote for one another, let there be a justifiable reason. Don't just vote for me because you don't like me, or because we've got a history and we came into the show with a history, or I don't have an alliance. I didn't get that. Sadly, Wells was voted out, and they revealed that he was a faithful. We all knew he was a faithful. And I'm surprised that people couldn't see through that. I don't get it. So once they left the round table, you had Wes with Rob and Derek be told that, they could give their shields in private to anyone. So Derek gave his to Dylan, which made sense because he's trying to build a bridge because it seems Survivor has outnumbered everybody else. And then Wes was smart because Wes went to the smartest player that he knows in the game apart from himself. And so he spoke to Boston Rob and asked Boston Rob, what are you going to do? And Boston Rob said, I'll save a Survivor person. And Wes did the numbers and realized that, Survivor has the most people in the house. So he then saved Jeremy. Rob gave his shield to Tony, which makes sense because he said, I want to get your allegiance, and then as soon as I do, I'm going to cut you out. So I can't wait to see what happens. Everybody was just pacing because they couldn't understand how everyone had voted for Wells and what the justifiable reason was. And then I'm happy that people have started to see, because I think with Ayan, she is upset because her name was thrown out there. And then the fact that her friend was sent home, she's not happy that Wells was sent home. So for them to sort of start throwing out Bob, the transgender's name, it made sense to me. It really did make sense. And I can't wait to see what happens at the next round table. And then, so everyone went to bed. And then you had the traitors go up to the talk. And it was revealed that Rob is a traitor. They're scared for their life. You could see they were not happy that he's there. They were not happy at all because if I were one of the traitors, I would have been ecstatic to see Boston Rob. Why? Because if the traitors win, we split the money. At the end of the day, Rob is very strategic in his gameplay. And so he wouldn't make decisions from a place of emotion, but a place of intellect. So I don't get why they're so threatened. Is it because they know that now they can't just railroad him with whatever decisions they want? They're going to have a justifiable reason in order to carry out a kill. Danielle and Bob were not happy. They were not happy. And I hope they don't try to throw him under the bus, because he has already secured himself by sort of giving shields to people that he's aligned to, and by making sure that the two sort of highest or top players from Survivor outside of himself have the shield. So Caroline is always going to stick to Rob, because at the end of the day, she wanted to shake Alan's hand on day one in order to save Rob. So I can't wait. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 1. Bye guys.